I want to talk to you about the Ending Improper Payments to Deceased People Act. Boy, that's a mouthful. Here's what I want to talk about. Many Louisianians read the stories about the welfare fraud in Minnesota and, frankly, in other states, and it makes them nauseous. I feel the same way. That's why I have been working for years, literally years, to target welfare fraud, especially the fraudsters who conduct fraud in the name of deceased Americans. In 2023 alone, for example, the federal government sent $1.3 billion, not million, billion. The federal government sent $1.3 billion to dead people. It's so pervasive that the Social Security Administration, which maintains a list of dead Americans known as the Death Master File. If someone dies, the state sends the name of the deceased person to the Social Security Administration, and that person's name is listed on what's called the Death Master File. We found that Social Security was not sharing this information, the names of the folks on the Death Master File, with the rest of the federal government. One branch of government wasn't talking to another branch of government. The Social Security Administration told me when I confronted them about this and asked them, why don't you talk to your colleagues and other colleagues in the federal government so we can stop paying dead people? Social Security told me it needed Congress's permission to share this information with, for example, the Treasury Department. So it could include.
What if I told you the federal government sent $1.3 billion to dead people in just 1 year? Not a typo, not a mistake. Dead people. And while hardworking Americans struggled with rising costs, that money was quietly disappearing through a broken system that everyone knew was broken and nobody fixed. Until now.
Dead Americans. And it's do not pay system. I didn't argue with them. I said, I'm just going to go pass a bill. Well, a few years ago I did. I passed a bill called the Stopping Improper Payments to Deceased People Act. And that bill allowed the Social Security Administration to temporarily share its Death Master File with the Department of the Treasury. I had to amend the bill to provide, it's a long story and it was frustrating, to provide for a temporary sharing. They wanted to try it out first. Well, it worked. Duh. Since December of 2023, this bill has saved the federal government at least $330 million in improper payments. We're no longer paying dead people and having their friends or relatives or whomever cash the checks. It was obvious that Congress needed to make this data sharing arrangement permanent. So I had to introduce, and was happy to do it, I introduced a second bill to do just that. That's why it took years to get this done. This week, I'm pleased to say the House passed my bill, the Ending Improper Payments to Deceased People Act. This bill had already passed the Senate, and now that it's passed the House, it's on its way to President Trump's desk so he can sign it into law. Now, dead people don't need welfare. I think that's obvious. But I'm not going to stop with just this bill. I'm going to continue to urge my colleagues in the Senate, my friends in the House, to pass another reconciliation bill, which we can do without Democratic votes, just like we did the one big beautiful bill, to include the subject of welfare fraud. Welfare fraud. It's inexcusable, it's unconscionable. These are taxpayer dollars. And I'm not going to stop till we get it done.
If you enjoyed Thid Breakdown, kindly like, comment, and subscribe for more political insights.